How's it going, guys? Travis Tooke here, and in this video I want to talk about why I think that having a predictable daily routine is one of the most important things that you can implement into your life. But before I get into the why of having a routine, first I want to share with you my daily routine so that you can have an idea of how this works for me and why I think it's so valuable to you. So every day I wake up at about 7 a.m. and kind of crawl out of bed, whether I'm pretty tired, whether I had a great night's sleep or not. I get out of bed at 7 a.m.
Maybe I hit the snooze button once or twice, but
no more than that, and then I'm up and ready to get started. And then after that, before I do anything, before I touch my phone, before I check to see what's going on social media or emails or any type of anxiety-inducing, notifications, I sit upright and I just go through 3 different types of breathing exercises. The 3 that I like to do, although these can change once in a while, I will break the routine on the variety of different breathing exercises that I do. But I like to start with this one most often. I like to do what's called box breathing. The next breathing exercise that I like to do is called breath of fire, which is just this fast in and out inhalation. And then to end it, I like to go through what's called the Wim Hof method, which is just filling your lungs and kind of saturating your body with oxygen with these deep breaths. This whole routine takes me about 10 minutes to complete. Once I finish that, then I'm up, out of bed, and ready for the next activity. Once I finish the breathing and I kind of get out of bed, now I'm going to go through a full body stretch. This isn't going to take very long. I'm not trying to do a full yoga class or get any kind of exercise out of this. I'm just trying to prime my body for movement so that I'm alert and ready for whatever I'm going to do that day. So now it's about 7:30, 7:45, and I've done my breathing. I've kind of primed myself, my body with the stretches and all that. And now I'm gonna have some coffee. I really think it's important for me particularly to do it in this order, to wake myself up naturally before doing the coffee. So coffee for me is more about the enjoyment, the taste, a little bit of the caffeine, but I really try to do it naturally, get myself going, and then I'll enjoy a cup of coffee, as opposed to just zombie mode, crawl into the kitchen, pouring down a bunch of coffee, trying to make that wake me up, and then moving on. Then at 8 a.m. I have a little bit of time. That's when I start visualizing what I'm going to do today. I start making a list of what I need to get done for the day. And as far as a hobby, I like to play a little bit of guitar. Not very good, because I don't practice nearly enough. But I like to do about 10 minutes of that. It kind of clears my mind. It gets me thinking about nothing else. And it's a great way to put me into a really good mood to get started for the rest of the day. Then I'll usually hang out with my wife for a little bit, hang out with the dog, maybe do some stuff in the yard, doing that just for short, periods of time. And after that, then I'm off. I'm off for the day. That's usually about 8:45. I'll leave, and that's when I'll go to All In Athletics. And All In, I try to hit about 4 or 5 times a week. Some days I'll miss because if my routine gets thrown off or something unpredictable comes up, I have to deal with that. But I try to make this a priority. That's where I go to work out, and I have a couple of trainers there, whoever's there that day, and they'll just take me through a workout routine. I don't have to think about it. I just do what they say. They kind of crack the whip on me, and we're doing all sorts of really pretty intense exercises, which I like. I feel that staying in shape gives me the energy to do everything else that I want to do. And although it's a temporary discomfort and it's a short window of exhaustion, it gives me a lot more stamina for the rest of the day and for other projects and things I have going on with the business. Okay, so I finished the workout around 10 o'clock, maybe 10:15, depending on if it pushed a little bit past an hour. It's a short drive from there to Team Tooke, my school over here, and then I roll in here. I kind of get dressed into whatever I'm going to wear that day, maybe take a quick shower. Usually I'm going to plan on training in the daytime class, and even though I'm not always teaching that, I do try to get in a little bit of jiu-jitsu at least once in the morning and once in the evening. So even if I'm not teaching the class, over the next hour and a half, starting at 11, I'm going to be participating in that class, either sparring, teaching, drilling. Sometimes I'm doing the whole thing. About 10:30 is when I kind of roll in here, 10:15 to 10:30 from working out, kind of decompress a little bit, catch my breath, rehydrate, get dressed into my gi. I might do a little bit of work, and then I'm going to get some jiu-jitsu training in until about 12 to 12:30. After 12:30, I'm done training, usually need a shower, need to get dressed back up. And then 1 o'clock, I'm going to be either doing a little bit of work. Many times I have like a mentoring meeting with one of my business mentors, the people that kind of keep me doing the right thing in terms of my goals and what I need to be doing kind of career-wise. That usually takes about an hour. That's not every day, but I usually do 1 to 2 of those a week. So it's either that or it's working on whatever I have to work on for that day. 2 p.m. is usually my lunchtime for the day. There's a small window where it could be 1:30 or 2:30 depending on what's running over or ahead of time. But I usually have lunch about 2 o'clock. That lasts about 45 minutes. And then I'm back here by 3 o'clock. Then I'm pretty much working for the next 2 to 3 hours on whatever stuff I'm working on for the day here at the school. Around 5 to 6 p.m. is when we start having people come in for classes, and I try not to be doing anything too work related at that time. I want to be available for anyone coming in or the instructors, any help anyone needs, especially during this time. We've had the recent pandemic and we just started opening up, so it's like everybody's full on making sure that we're all working together to follow the proper procedures. But even on a normal day, even outside of this situation, that's the time I'm getting geared up and focused on teaching the class and making sure that all the other instructors who are teaching have everything that they need, and that we're all kind of operating on the same page at that time. And then I'm pretty much teaching/training until about 7:30 or 8:30, kind of depends on the day. And that's it. Then I'm done. A little hanging out with the team after that, and then I'm back home where I have dinner, hang out with the wife, have some food, and that's pretty much a full day, Monday through Thursday. I would say Friday's a little different. I go home sometimes a little bit earlier on Friday, and that's also the day that we have a scheduled team meeting. Saturday, there's a class that I usually teach here. That's a 10 to 12 p.m. class. That's a pretty exhausting sparring rounds. We call it our competition class. That's pretty much it. And then I'll do a little bit of work after that. And then I'm off, mostly for the rest of it. If there's any catching up to do, I'll try to do it on Saturday. And then Sunday is a free day where I don't really have any plans other than spending time with the wife or family. Take a small trip or do something kind of fun on that day. And one thing I will do on Sunday is I always try to get in a little exercise. I'm usually tired from the week, but I find that a walk or a light run or a bike ride or just walking some trails or just something, try to be in nature, is rejuvenating, and I feel refreshed, ready to go into Monday. So that's it. That's my full routine from Monday through Sunday. So why have a routine? Why have it? It seems boring, right? It's kind of like, well, it's the same thing every day. Don't you want some spontaneity in your life? Don't you want some surprise? And the reality is, life's going to give you plenty of that. What I find with the routine is that by following it, I feel less stressed than when I just wing it and I don't plan and I just try to decide on the moment if I'm going to do something or not. I tend to have more predictable outcomes when working toward my goal when I have a routine that I can follow every day. If you see anyone who is very successful or having that moment of shine, let's say it's the World Championships or a UFC title fight or something like that, most of them lead pretty routine, predictable lives. They wake up, they have a focus on their training, they have a goal for the day, they put in all the necessary work, they sleep, and they repeat that day in and day out. and you'll see maybe an Instagram post where they're doing something exciting, or like a picture of a flashback of a competition. But what you realize is all of those moments are the less than 1% where the work and the daily grind of their routine comes together in one shining moment. It's there, it's up there. You have pictures that they can repost forever, but they're back to work the next day unless they have no more goals, which typically when you reach a goal, or if you come short of a goal, you reevaluate what it is that you want, you write it down, you make a plan, and you start working, and that plan requires a daily routine. Another thing about having a daily routine is it's much easier to plan the really fun, enjoyable things. If you want a vacation, if you want to take time off, if you want to go have a new experience that requires you to leave for 1 or 2 weeks, you can do this because you work in a way that the rest of your life operates kind of like a machine, so that you can plan in these life experiences. And I think what turns people off about having a routine is they think that their lives are going to be a little more enjoyable by just everything being free, but the reality is the world's pretty chaotic when you don't organize and structure how you run things. There's no one magic moment that's going to bring you to that outcome. It's improving by a tiny margin every day, and the better that you get at it, the smaller you improve daily. It's like working out, right? In the beginning, if you're really out of shape, you kind of double your fitness level within a couple of weeks, but as you get into better shape, you've got to work very, very hard just to maintain that level. So with a routine, you can actually reach your goals faster. It might not feel that way day in and day out until you start to reach a couple of them. And then the next goal comes a little bit faster. And because you have experience to guide you through your routine, you start making decisions a little bit better. You start making better choices. You work a little more efficiently, and you have better communication with the people that are part of your team. So what's the downside of routine? I think a lot of people think that it's kind of boring, it's not spontaneous. They want to live a life that's more just free and liberal and not have these restrictions and set these rules on ourselves. And it sounds nice in theory, but I really feel that it's the opposite. I feel that when you don't have any type of structured routine with your life, then you're just handling the chaos that comes with not knowing how to handle problems when they come at you because you don't have the daily training and the predictability of routine. So I don't really see a downside to it. I think you can have any type of personality that you want, but you should still plan how you're going to do those things. And the truth is, if you started a routine and you quit because you said man, it just wasn't me, I don't like a routine, I don't think it's fun, I don't think the problem is the routine, I think the problem is you. And you need to do something to fix the part of you that can't handle the structure. So if you're looking for something, I highly recommend jiu-jitsu. Of course, I'm biased, but I have found nothing better in my life to give me something to work toward that excites me, that makes me want to get up in the morning and try to go get better. What you find out immediately in jiu-jitsu, if you do not make a routine of coming to class on a regular basis, you're going to be getting tapped out more than usual. And the other thing is, when you come on a regular basis, you start winning more. You start improving. You start seeing that growth. You start feeling the compound interest of the time you've invested on the mat. But it takes a steady routine. You've got to come to class, and it needs to be 2 to 3 days a week, preferably more, but not everyone can do that. But still, if you do that, you're going to be a black belt one day, and you're going to be a good one if you're putting in the time and effort. So, in conclusion, routine is synonymous with discipline. You're following a path toward a goal, and you don't necessarily know how long it's going to take to reach that goal. You just know that there are steps that must be implemented, and there cannot be too much gap in between those steps. It needs to be worked on weekly, if not daily. That's really why I highly recommend that you create some sort of a routine in your life. And if you've already got one working for you, try to sharpen it up over time. Try to find ways to make your routine more efficient. It's just like your jiu-jitsu. You don't just say, I go to class, and so I'm just going to wait until I get the belt. It's like, well, there's so much more you can do with your jiu-jitsu routine. right? You can say, I'm going to show up a little bit earlier, be a little more focused on the drilling. I'm going to come to maybe one more class per week. I'm going to add strength and conditioning. I'm going to clean up my diet. I'm going to make sure that I'm hydrated. I'm going to work on my agility, my range of motion, so my body bends in new ways so that it opens up more techniques that I can do. I'm going to watch more video. And I know I'm saying a lot and you're saying, well, should I do all those things? No, but if you gradually add one new thing every few months or so, as you get better at your routine gives you better results. Routine is discipline. There's no such thing as discipline without routine. You can't be a wild, unpredictable, disciplined person. I mean, you can have a personality that might exude that, but you still gotta go to bed and wake up predictably at a certain time and have things that you're working on every single day and holding yourself accountable. That's really what this is taking responsibility for your life, for the things that you want and the people that you're trying to help. You can't do it all in one giant moment of motivation. Your motivation is like a heart rate monitor. It's going to go up and down, and you still have to put in something every day and win that day. If you can manage your routine and make it something that you not only organize but embrace the idea, your life's going to be full of even more excitement. The more routine and I guess boring my days are, the more experiences I can plan for and have throughout the year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and subscribe. And again, guys, if you do not currently have your own routine, there's never been a better time than right now. So leave a comment if you've found that having a routine has added some value to your life. All right, guys, until the next one, see you soon.